Hello, my impatience. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. I hope you will come joining. I hope you will come engaging. I hope you will come filing in momentarily. So, yeah, sometimes I get into moments where I get really emotional and I lose sight of reality. I don't know. Okay, let's get some of the impatience coming in here. Ah, who's the master? Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. I don't know. Maybe I should. It's only 3:30. Maybe I should lie down. I guess. All right. So I got bowling tomorrow. I got a pretty good sleep last night, which is good. I slept a while, which is anytime you get a good night's sleep, that's obviously something that's pretty good. So I used to work at this supermarket, not the one around the block, but the manager there I used to work for. And the supermarket's around the block from my house, and the manager who works there, I used to work for. So I mean, I like today and a lot of days, I walk I walk there. Like today, I walked there twice, and he's like, you're here more than when you worked here. I'm like, I live just around the block, and I'm walking here, and I'm going to the supermarket a lot. I guess you're not really though. I mean, but yeah, I'm always at the supermarket around the block from my house, and maybe I should stop going there so often, or make just one trip. Yeah, the manager was like, "Yeah, you're here now more than when you worked, for me," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so. I don't know." I don't know. It's fun, just going to the supermarket, walking in, getting a seltzer water, then leaving. I don't know. Maybe I should just do one big trip rather than just shop for like one or two things, then leave, then go back in like 2 hours later, shop for one or two things, then leave. I don't know. It's certainly an idea. It's certainly an idea. All right. So he says you can meet some ladies at the supermarket. Yeah, the ladies all love shopping. Or the bitches, as my barber calls them. The bitches all love shopping for groceries. The bitches. Yo, bitches. Yeah, no, if you call ladies bitches, they don't like that. They don't like that term. You got to call ladies ladies. They don't like getting called the bitches. Yo, bitches. Yo, bitches. Mm. But we all know old ladies are kind of nasty. Yeah. Even the sweet and calm ladies, you all know, have a little bit of a mean streak. You know, even the sweet and mellow ladies can get nasty sometimes. We all know, when you start dating ladies, they lose their minds and they get crazy. Yeah, that's just what they do. All right, the ladies, they get crazy. I don't think there's one sane lady out there. I don't think there's one sane lady out there. And everybody's like, "Yep, you're probably right, Andrew. The ladies are all insane." But then again, they say men are insane. Is anybody sane? Is anybody sane? Maybe nobody is sane. Maybe everybody's nuts. The sauce says no disputes. I think everybody's crazy. It's just certain degrees. Are you like on the streets, talking to yourself crazy, or are you just, walking into the supermarket 3 times a day crazy? Yeah, I guess there's different degrees of crazy. Are you looking for sugar mama crazy, or are you, I don't know. There's different degrees of crazy. There's different degrees. Like there's different degrees. Speaking of which, I tried going on some cougar websites to meet a wealthy older woman, but they say all those websites are scams, Andrew. There's no such thing as a legitimate cougar website. Like, that's too bad. I would love to meet a woman in her 50s or 60s. I would love to meet a woman. So, Andrew, stick to women in their 20s or 30s. I don't know. I like older women. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't like older women, right? Peter says he met women off Plenty of Fish. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I could go on Plenty of Fish or Bumble or Tinder. I don't know. Anybody? Can anybody hook me up with, a lady or anything like that? Maybe. So, I met a guy doing bowling a few weeks ago. I met him once, but I like him all right. I don't dislike him, but I discovered he lives, really close to me. Within walking distance of my house, and he wants me to give him a ride home from bowling. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really feel like giving him a ride home, even though he lives so close to me. Is that wrong of me? Is that wrong of me? I don't really want to give this guy a ride home from bowling. I don't really want him in my car. I mean, maybe if I get to know him better, but I just met him once. I don't know. I guess play it by ear. Play it by ear. So where can I go to meet? Peter says, no, it's not really wrong of you. I drive alone. Yeah, I don't really want this person in my car. I mean, I don't dislike him. In fact, I like him, but I don't really want to drive him, from bowling. Maybe in a few weeks or months if I get to know him better. But I literally met him once, and he wants me driving him home from bowling. I don't know. I don't know. In a way, it makes me not want to go to bowling because I just want to avoid the uncomfortable situation. And I feel like it's like expected. Like, oh, we live so close. Give me a ride home. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really want to drive you home. It's like expected. It's like I get you. All right. La 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 So I had a little bit of a cold the past few days. I think I got it from pizza at Nami, but I'm feeling better today. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know. I guess my immune system is getting stronger. I Google when you get older, does your immune system weaken? Because I feel like I'm getting sick very often now. Or am I not eating nutritiously, or what the problem? I'm not really sure what the problem is. Why I'm getting sick so frequently now. I know when I was in my early 30s and 20s, I never got sick. Now I'm getting sick multiple times a year, so I don't really know what the problem is. Maybe I'm not eating enough vitamins and nutrition, but yeah, I don't like getting sick. I like being healthy, as most of us do. As most of us do. I think most of us don't like being sick. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I don't think anybody likes being sick. I mean, there's probably some weirdo in California that might like it, but I don't think people like being sick. It's kind of, I mean, but then again, I guess there's some people like have you ever gotten hit in the arm and had like a really nasty bruise on your arm, and you touch the bruise and you kind of like having the bruise, like a badge of honor. So there might be somebody who likes having bruises, but you know, but yeah, no, I don't like being sick with something like a sore throat or COVID or the flu and so on. I don't think anybody likes that really. It's kind of what it ain't. I like being healthy. It doesn't look like anybody's really joining this live stream, which is too bad. Which is too bad. I really wanted to mingle and engage with my inpatients. I guess they're all out living life, which is what people do. Most people live life. They're not on social media 24/7. So la 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 la. So I think this is an anxiety thought. Do you ever feel like, did I hit a pothole with my car or did I hit a small child? Obviously, I didn't hit a small child with my car, but if you hit a human being with your car, you would know. It goes it's a thump, and there'd probably be blood on your car and stuff. You would know if you hit somebody with your car. But sometimes you feel like, all right, I want to go around the block and check again to make sure I didn't hit somebody with my car. It's an OCD thought, And I think it's kind of like when I was thinking like there were hypodermic needles around the neighborhood, and I'm like, did I step on a hypodermic needle? Let's go back and retrace my thoughts. Like they say, if you stepped on a hypodermic needle, you would fucking know. The needle will go through your shoe and push into your foot. You can't mistake it. It's an OCD thought. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when it comes to the car, it's kind of like if you do a hit and run, you probably go to jail for murder or manslaughter. So it's kind of like an OCD phobia, intrusive thought. But it's like, no, that I didn't hit anybody with my car, and if I did, I would know. You would know. You would. It wouldn't be just like hitting a pothole. It would be like, it'd be like, it would be obvious. You couldn't mistake it. Kind of like you couldn't mistake stepping on a hypodermic needle. You would know if you stepped on a hypodermic needle. So I think that's something to keep in mind. It's just OCD. So somebody would probably scream too if you ran somebody over. They'd be like, ah! Yeah, you would know. I mean, you couldn't accidentally run somebody over and not realize it, unless you were like really high on drugs, which obviously I wasn't. I don't use drugs, so you would know if you ran somebody over. So, yeah, just toggle the OCD off, toggle the intrusive thoughts off. It was kind of like in 2020 and 2021 when I kept thinking I was stepping on hypodermic needles, and I would go retrace my steps. I'm like, did I step on a hypodermic needle? Was there a hypodermic needle there? It's like, no, this is OCD. This is a broken record, intrusive thoughts, checking over and over again. It's like, just, you would know, it's just, just stop and check it, Catch it, check it, change it. We got Brain Dead in the house. I'm not really a fan of your name, Brain Dead, because I feel like it's a reference to me. I feel like I'm brain dead, I feel like I'm brain dead. And we've talked about this already. There's another person I talked to on Instagram who's got the name Broke Pathetic Loser Staring into the Void. And I feel like that name's a reference to me too. But apparently that's not so. Apparently the opposite is true. It's just a reference to like their own personal lives, They're not referencing me with their names. He says, yes. We've said this about 20 times now. Yeah, but every time I see your name Brain Dead, I feel like I'm brain dead. I feel like I'm a vegetable mind, I don't like your name. I don't like your name, though. You seem like a nice enough guy. I think we're having salmon for dinner at the house, which is pretty cool. We're having salmon for dinner. All right, guys. It doesn't really seem like anybody's joining. I mean, we got a few people who popped in and engaged, but this really isn't like we didn't get a lot of impatience engaging with me today, which is disappointing, but that's okay. It happens. So I think I'm gonna peace out here. I'm gonna hit the bricks. I'm gonna hit the old dusty trail. Brian says, we got to get you something to do, bro. You want to hit the bar with me? It's probably for the best I don't drink too much. You know. I think I'm going to the SOAR program on Monday. Although apparently it's like middle school level math and sitting with drooling mental patients and low functioning people. So I don't think I'm gonna like it, but don't do the self fulfilled prophecy. Go in there, give it a fair chance, but I don't think I'm gonna like it really. You know. But you never know. Maybe I'll go and I'll discover this is what it is. This is I'm having the time of my life here. All right, guys, adios. We only got one person watching and nobody's really engaging, so I'll go back to listen to some music. I got to get a life. I got to get a hobby. I think I have bowling tomorrow, so that's a good. Well, that was a good seltzer water burp. Yeah, let's try to burp on camera here. All right, guys. All right, guys. All right, peace out. Adios. Oh, and just as I was about to leave, we got TB in the house. He says, Andrew Koloski and the Inpatients. How are you doing, TB? I was just about to leave, but you got any questions? He says, hey, do an hour, Andrew. Do an hour. I mean, I could, TB. I mean, I know you're obviously, he says, he's here, and how am I doing? Somebody says, what are you going to be for Halloween? That's a good question. Probably nothing. I'd love to have a lady. I would love the lady to get dressed up really sexy in a really sexy Halloween costume. You know, like, I don't know. What's a sexy Halloween costume? And I'd love to get dressed up. You know, so many people dress in scary costumes. I like wholesome costumes. Like, you know. So he says, you look very sophisticated today, Andrew. Kind of like somebody who would go skiing. Thank you. I look pretty sophisticated. You know, I maybe only celebrated Halloween a handful of times. And, you know, that's unfortunate. I wish I could. You know, I wish I celebrated it when I was in my 20s and the lady got dressed up really sexy. You know, but that didn't happen for me. I never got to have romance with a sexy woman in a sexy costume. You know, poor me, poor me. I never had romance with a lady in a sexy costume. So you aren't going trick or treating? Probably not. Unless I meet a sexy girlfriend who wants to wear a sexy costume. Or maybe want to wear a wholesome costume. Maybe I could be like Super Mario or Spider-Man again or like Batman or something like that. I don't know. But then again, I'm 38 years old. It's not like I'm a 20-year-old. You know, I'm kind of like a man. I'm a man, damn it. I'm not a child. If I don't want to be a man child, you know, maybe I should give up the Halloween thing. Somebody says, Andrew, do you see parallels between yourself and Michael Jackson? You both desire never-ending childhood. Actually, no. You see, the opposite is true for me. I want to be a man. I want to be seen as a man. I want people to respect me as a man. I want to be a badass. You know, I want to be want to be a macho man, so to speak. But and I mean, obviously Michael Jackson was never proven of you know pedophilia, but there's some weird accusations. I mean, he was a good artist. Obviously created some good pop songs, and he was creative. But yeah, I think when you start engaging in pedophilia, people kind of jump off your bandwagon. It's kind of what it ain't. People don't really like pedophilia. I mean, he was never proven guilty of pedophilia in court. In fact, he beat the allegations. But yeah, that's kind of something you don't want to be accused of. You know, People don't really like accusations of pedophilia. You know, it's just it kind of sours people on you for the obvious reasons. You know. TV says that's true, Andrew. That's really true. That's really like one of the worst things you could be accused of. I'm trying to think of what would be worse. I mean, even like I'm trying to think like even like Adolf Hitler and committing genocide. I mean, even that gets more respect than I'm a pedophile. I hurt children. I mean, I'm sure Adolf Hitler did nefarious things to children, but you know, it's just bad. I mean, I'm sure Adolf Hitler was he's well regarded as being like one of the worst people in history. But I guess the point is pedophilia. Just it's not good. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff. So he says, would the dog sin be worse? Yeah, I think the dog sin is less because obviously I regretted it and I felt guilty and I felt badly regarding the dog and you know I think the dog sin is significantly less. I mean, like, in comparison to Hitler and genocide, significantly less. In comparison to pedophilia, significantly less. The dog sin is just, yeah, I made a mistake. I was a child. I made a mistake. You there was no rate of recidivism. When it came to the dog sin, I learned my lesson. I learned, ooh, this is bad stuff. So. So he says, "What you gonna do? Are you doing Hulk Hogan? What you gonna do, brother? When Hulk Hogan and the Pythons run wild on you?" So he says, "It's really good you didn't move on to horses or other animals." Yeah, I mean, I guess some people graduate and move on, but yeah, not me, not me. See, I went to confession and I confessed my sins, and I'm forgiven in the eyes of the Lord. So he says, "You don't even believe, Andrew." So he says, "Amen, amen, amen. You're forgiven in the eyes of." I did. That's a true story. I guess around, I guess 2002. I said to Mom, "Can you take me to confession?" She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I really have to go to confession." And I confessed to the priest how I committed the dog sin, and he gave me a few Hail Marys and All Fathers, which I said. So I guess in the eyes of the Lord, I'm absolved and forgiven for the dog sin. He I don't know what my mother thought I was going to confession for. She must have suspected something. But in the eyes of the Lord, I'm forgiven. So he says, do you like Terry Davis, Andrew? I don't know who Terry Davis is, TB. I don't know who Terry Davis is. All right, guys. I mean, I don't really have any other plans. I mean, so he says, Terry Davis was a schizophrenic, but he's no longer with us. Rest in peace to Terry. Let's pop Terry Davis's name into Google here. Yeah, schizophrenia is a hell of an illness. A hell of an illness. That's for sure. It is an illness. Terry Davis. Did he do something nefarious, or I can't really. I mean, did he do something nefarious? I mean, obviously nefarious things are bad. He says, no, he did nothing nefarious. Oh, that's good. I like schizophrenic people who live wholesome and productive lives. It says he was a computer programmer. I don't like schizophrenics that do nefarious things, you know. I like wholesome and kind schizophrenics, like loving schizophrenics. Woo! So he says, maybe we could do the love of a schizophrenic to the love of. Nah, I'm not really singing right now. I'm not in a singing or dancing mood. If you caught me like maybe 20 minutes ago, maybe I'd be. Right now, not so much. Right now, not so much. But do you have an idea of how I can meet some ladies? Or the bitches, as we call them. The bitches. Do you have an idea of how I can meet a cute girlfriend? A lady I could go like this with. A lady I could get romantic with. He says, maybe an internet dating website? That's always a possibility. So he says, a girl to kiss with, yes. Come here. Take your lips, place them upon my lips. He says, maybe you could go out somewhere. Maybe you could go to a bar and use that line. Say, hey, baby, how you doing? Let me buy you a beer. And take your lips, place them upon my lips, and let's kiss. I don't know. That's not really smooth. That would probably creep a lady out. She'd probably be like, get the fuck away from me, creep. So, yeah, I got to think of some better lines. She says, that might give her the icks. Yeah, she might not like that. You're absolutely right, TB. You're absolutely right. It might creep her out. All right. I think I'm going to peace out here. I think I'm going to hit the bricks for good here. TB's got to go anyway, and I got to go. Adios, amigos and amigas. Peace out.